going to be a little bit something different. But first off, if you guys are brand new to my channel, hello, welcome, my name is Madison. Feel free to subscribe right here at this little annotation I have coming in. That way you get notified for future videos, but now let's just go ahead and get into today's video. Alright, so today's video is going to be a Pinterest tested recipes video, you guys. I thought this would be really fun to do because I always get my recipes from Pinterest and I always wonder, are they going to be good or are they going to be bad? So I'm really excited to bring this video to you guys, and let me know if you guys want to see more in the comments down below. I will be more than happy to keep doing these videos for you guys. And also I will have all the original recipes listed down below for you guys as well if you want to try these out for yourself. But now let's just go ahead and get into our first Pinterest recipe. Alright, so our first Easter Pinterest recipe is going to be Easter marshmallow bark, and I thought this was really easy to make, so I didn't think I could mess this one up. Alright, so first off, all you're going to need is 1 bag of mini white chocolate chips. Then you're going to need 3 cups of rainbow mini marshmallows to make it really pretty and decorative. And then you'll need 1 tablespoon of shortening, and then last but not least, you will need some Easter festive sprinkles to make it all pretty on top. Alright, so for the first step, all you're going to have to do is just pour those mini white chocolate chips into a glass bowl and then put the 1 tablespoon of shortening on top of this. The shortening is going to allow it to be a lot easier to melt those white chocolate chips. So you're just going to stick those in the microwave and just go into increments of 30 seconds so you slowly melt it and you don't burn it. Alright, so next up what you're going to do is you're going to take those 3 cups of mini marshmallows and put that into the melted white chocolate. And you're going to really coat those marshmallows. Make sure they're fully coated so that way they're kind of like melted and just really yummy. So when you're all done coating up those marshmallows with that white chocolate, you're going to pour this onto a baking pan. And then you're going to want to make sure that baking pan is coated with some wax paper so that way this doesn't stick to the pan. Big tip there. Alright, so when you're done pouring in your marshmallows and white chocolate, you're just going to make sure it smooths all out on that pan really nicely, just like a nice even layer on top of it. And then you're going to take your Easter color sprinkles and pour those on top of it. And then when you're all done with that, you're just going to stick it into the freezer for about 20 minutes and then let that just kind of sit and freeze so everything hardens. And then when your 20 minutes is up, you're just going to take that out of the freezer and then you're going to grab a cookie cutter. What you're going to want to do with that cookie cutter is make sure it's sprayed with some Pam or any type of oil just to make sure that the Easter marshmallow bark doesn't stick to it. It makes it a lot easier. Big tip there again. And then obviously next up, you're going to take that cookie cutter and you're just going to make shapes with that cookie cutter and that marshmallow bark. So this was actually really hard. So my tip is to kind of let the marshmallow bark sit for a little bit so that way it kind of melts a little and it's not like super hard to get it through, because I was even taking the Pam like spray can bottle and just like pounding it like this because I could not get that cookie cutter through that marshmallow bark. It was so hard. Oh my goodness. So I definitely recommend doing that. Then what I also did is I took a butter knife to help me cut out even more because it was just so difficult, I swear, because it was really hard. So just for my little tip there is just to let it sit for a couple minutes and then try to cut into it so that way it's not like super hard, because I just don't have the muscles for that. Alright, so this is what the final product looks like. Turned out really cute. Also, what I think you could probably do with the white chocolate, if you guys want to make this a little bit more festive, you could even add some food coloring into it just to kind of change the color of the chocolate. And what's awesome about this recipe, you just have to change a few things and you can make it for any holiday. So you can add some green in and do Christmas trees, and then you'll have a Christmas marshmallow bar. So you can definitely change up this recipe to kind of gear it towards any holiday. But now let's just go ahead and do the taste test of this. Alright, so I'm going to take a bite of it. I haven't tried it yet. Very sweet and very chocolatey. Let me just tell you guys, I pray for any parent that gives this to their child because I swear they will have a sugar rush probably for a week. This is so sweet. This turned out really good, but I have to say that you definitely have to have a sweet tooth for this because you can definitely taste all the chocolate, the marshmallow, and then like my Laffy Taffy sprinkles I put up on top as well. So it's good, but it's very sweet. Alright, so I definitely have to give this recipe a thumbs up because it actually turned out really good, but you definitely have to have a sweet tooth for it. Alright, so for our second recipe, we are going to be making dipped Easter egg treats. So this one's really easy to make too, and it just looks so delicious as well because I am a lover of Rice Krispie treats, you guys, like a huge lover of them. Alright, so for this next recipe, all you're going to need is 3 tablespoons of butter, then 1 bag of mini marshmallows, white ones are just fine, and then you'll need 6 cups of Rice Krispie treats. All right, so obviously for the first step, all you guys are gonna have to do is just make some Rice Krispie treats. So all you're gonna do is just take the butter and the marshmallows and you're just gonna stir that up in a pan and heat it till it's completely melted and smooth. And then when it's all smooth and completely melted, you're just gonna take it off the heat and then you're gonna mix in your Rice Krispie treats. You wanna make sure the Rice Krispie treats are really coated with the marshmallows and the butter. That way it's all sticky and goes together nicely. All right, so next up, obviously you can do this in two different ways. If you wanna make it like a perfect egg shape, then what you can do is you can just grab those really big plastic eggs that you know that the kids hunt for on Easter morning. Grab one of those, make sure that the inside is washed, obviously, and then spray it with some Pam. And then all you have to do is take the Rice Krispie treats that you just made and just stick it inside, just so that it forms the shape of the egg. Or what you can do is just spray your hands with some Pam so that way it doesn't stick to your hands, and then form your own egg shape as well. All right, so when you're all done making your eggs, all you have to do is just set those aside, let them cool a bit so that way they set. And then when you're waiting for your Rice Krispie treats to cool down, all you're gonna have to do is make the white chocolate. So you're gonna take your white baking chocolate and then mix in a tablespoon of shortening as well, because remember, this is really gonna help melt that chocolate and make it really smooth and perfect for dipping. So when that chocolate's all melted, all you're gonna do is take your Rice Krispie treats and you're just gonna dip it into the chocolate. And then you can decorate it by putting sprinkles on top of it as well. And then another great way to do this recipe, you guys, is you can add in some food coloring. You can change the color of the Rice Krispie treats to make them like, you know, pretty egg color. And then add in another color for the dipping frosting and then just really decorate with the sprinkles. So I think this could be really fun and experimental for kids. So this was a really easy recipe to do. And then when you're all done decorating your Rice Krispie treat eggs, you can just set them in the refrigerator probably for about 30 minutes or so. I just put mine in overnight, but I think they'll be ready to go and eat rather quickly. So this is what the final product looks like. It turned out really cute, and like I was saying, I think if you added some food coloring to this and make it like really pretty and decorative and colorful, I think they'd be even cuter and great for parties and great for kids. So now let's just go ahead and taste test this. These ones are good. But honestly, you cannot go wrong with Rice Krispie treats. I am so in love with them. They're so good. It's a good thing I didn't eat lunch. All right, so I definitely have to give the dipped Easter egg treats a big thumbs up because I am obsessed with Rice Krispie treats and I think they're delicious, and it was super easy to make. All right, so for our last recipe, it's gonna be Easter egg cookie dough truffles. And this is for all my cookie dough lovers out there. If you guys love cookie dough, you guys are gonna love this recipe, I bet. So I'm gonna go ahead and read the ingredients off the paper because there's a lot here. This one is a little bit more complex. All right, so first up, all you're gonna need is a half a cup of butter, which is basically 1 stick of butter. Then you're gonna need 3/4 cups of brown sugar. And then you'll need 2 cups of all-purpose flour. And then you'll need 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, then 14 ounces of sweetened condensed milk. And then last but not least, you'll just need a cup of mini chocolate chips. All right, so in this recipe, my KitchenAid mixer like saved the day with this one because it made it so much easier to do this recipe. All right, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the butter and the light brown sugar and put it into the bowl and then just have it stir. So you want it to keep stirring until it becomes really light and fluffy. It'll take probably about 2 minutes. And then next up, all you're gonna do is take that flour and you're slowly gonna add it into the mixture. So you want it to be stirring and then just add in a little bit of flour each time. You don't wanna just introduce it all together at once. You wanna slowly introduce it into the recipe. And then when your flour is added and completely mixed, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab your 14 ounces of sweetened condensed milk and you're slowly going to pour it in. Again, slowly introduce it to the recipe. Don't just pour it all at once. It just doesn't work as well. All right, so then when all your ingredients are mixed, you're just gonna grab those mini chocolate chips and you're gonna stir those in by hand into that dough. And you're just gonna wanna make sure that they're fully incorporated into the dough. So I recommend adding in a little bit at a time and then kind of stirring it up, then adding a little bit more and stirring some more. So when you're all done with those, what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab a baking sheet and you're gonna line it with some wax paper. So that way that the dough does not stick to the baking sheet. So then what you're gonna do is just gonna grab any size balls that you guys wanna do. They recommend 1 inch. I did a little bit bigger, did a little bit smaller. I just kind of had fun with it. So then what you're gonna do is you're gonna place it on the baking sheet and you're gonna make them form into like a little bit of an egg. This was really hard for me to do. Oh my goodness. The dough is so sticky, you guys. It's super sticky, so I'm warning you. So what I recommend probably doing is taking some Pam and like spraying your hands with it, just like how you would with Rice Krispie treats so they don't stick to you. So I recommend trying that to see if that works better. But when you're all done forming those eggs, what you're gonna do is you're gonna put them into the refrigerator and you're gonna have them refrigerate overnight. overnight. So that way they kind of cool and like harden a little bit. And then in the morning, you're gonna take your candy melts. So you can take any color candy melts. I grabbed yellow and pink because I thought those were really pretty and festive and perfect for Easter. So I grabbed those ones and I just melted my candy melts in the microwave. And then when it's all done with that, what you do is you go ahead and go to the refrigerator and grab your cookie dough out. So at this point, my cookie dough wasn't smooth and it was like really weird. So what I did when I took them out of the refrigerator is I kind of like pushed them down and like smoothed them out because they weren't as sticky anymore. They definitely set. And then I formed them more into an egg to kind of help make them look a little bit prettier because this recipe was super hard, you guys. Like, they just did not turn out cute at all. So I just kind of formed them into like a better shaped egg. And then it says to stick a fork in them and then dip them into the candy melts, like the melted candy melts. That didn't work out so well either because once I dipped them, like they did not want to come back out. So I was like having to scoop them out and it was just like the biggest mess. I even tried like just pouring over the top of them as well and like kind of smoothing it out with like a rubber spatula. But you guys, no joke, this recipe was so hard to like make it look pretty. It just looked like a disaster to me. Like I'm such a perfectionist and this wasn't going my way. But when I was all done, all I did is I just let those harden a little bit. So I just set them aside for about 20 minutes or so and they hardened completely. And then I even set some in the refrigerator. It doesn't matter, either or. You can set it outside the refrigerator or in the refrigerator. It doesn't matter. They both hardened just as well. So this is the final product. Like I was telling you guys, it didn't turn out super duper cute, but you know what? It works. And then also what I did is I took like the little like dribble thing that I have and I took a different color and I just kind of like, you know, spread it on top of it as well just to make it a little bit more decorative. I mean, I tried, right? So this is how it turned out and now let's just go ahead and do the taste test. All right, so I'm super nervous to try this because it's so weird eating like cookie dough that's not cooked, but then again, you don't put eggs in it, so it's not raw, but let's try this. Mmm. All right, so these are definitely really good, you guys. And if you are a huge lover of cookie dough, then I definitely recommend this because it's also a lot safer to eat. All right, so I definitely have to give this recipe a big thumbs up because it was super delicious, but I'm gonna warn you, it was really hard to decorate, you guys, like super hard to decorate. So I wish you luck with that. All right, so those are all the 3 Pinterest recipes that I found that are Easter edition. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. And again, I will have all recipes linked down below for you guys if you wanna try out any of these recipes yourself. And remember to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and let me know in the comments down below if you want to see more like this. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe for future videos, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!